We're going to have a Bible time first. And today's topic is the good news that will bring joy to all people. I want you guys to repeat after me. Good news that will bring joy to all people. I can't believe that it's already Christmas. We all love Christmas. I don't know if you guys have a family tradition for Christmas. In my family, I thought about what kind of family tradition do we have as a family? And the only thing that I could think of was watching this movie. It's called Home Alone. Do you guys know this movie? Every Christmas season, we love watching this movie. We probably watched it more than like 10 or 20 times. And, I watched this so many times. I know what's going to happen on the next plot. But I happen to be reminded that, why do we love Christmas? What is Christmas for? And I'm sure you guys love your family traditions. You guys love meeting friends and relatives and other family members. And I personally love the chilly weather. I'm more of a winter person than a summer person. We love all the festivities and being off from school and being off from your work and having a great time. And I think some of the kids would think that, maybe exchanging, giving gifts and receiving gifts are probably the best part of Christmas. Maybe you guys are really looking forward to it. But let me tell you guys, what is Christmas really about? It's not our birthday. It's not about our celebration. But Christmas, we are celebrating the birth of Jesus. So we should not be solely focused on giving gifts and receiving gifts and having a great time, but really think about the reason why Jesus Christ came to this earth. And the book of Luke, chapter 2, verse 6 and 7, tells us the story about the birth of Jesus. Let's read together verse 6. And while they were there, the time came for her baby to be born. Who is the mother of Jesus? Does anyone know? Let's go with 시연이. She's the youngest. 예수님 어머니 이름이 뭐죠? 네, 마리아 맞아요. 네. And what's the name of the father of Jesus? Does anyone know? Tyler, since you're the only one. Joseph, yeah. Yeah, I don't know what kind of dad you have, but you look pretty sharp right there. So it was about time that they were about to give birth to Jesus, and you notice that they were traveling. Imagine like the mom being fully pregnant. She's expecting any day, and she is pregnant, right? And she's about to give birth, and then what happens to them? Let's read verse 7. Let's read it together. Yes, 1, 2, 3. She gave birth to her firstborn son. She wrapped him snugly in strips of clothes and laid him in a manger because there was no lodging available for them. So as they were traveling, it was time for the mom to give the birth to the baby Jesus, and they didn't have a room available. Can you imagine what kind of panic must have been going through their minds? We need to give birth, but we don't have a room, so what do we do? And this is what kind of the first century houses looked like. On the first floor, they would many times raise animals, and there were all these things that you needed to raise animals. And the second floor, you would sort of use it as as your private room. And I think what this verse means, they didn't really have a private space for giving birth, so they kind of had to, maybe they were on the first floor giving birth, and they, finally, baby Jesus was born. And where was he placed on? Like, what kind of thing was Jesus placed on? Manger, right? And I actually didn't, really know what that word meant, so I had to look it up. It's like when you're raising, animals, you need to feed them, right? It's like the container that has the food for the animals. And I'm sure they try to clean it to their best of abilities. But can you think of how Jesus was born? They were traveling. They didn't have a room available, and Jesus was laid in this not so clean. I don't want to be lying on a manger, right? Not so clean manger, and that's how Jesus came. And I'm gonna skip through these verses, but angel appeared to some shepherds, and this is what the angels tell the shepherds. Let's read verse 10. Let's read it together. 1, 2, 3. But the angel reassured him. Don't be afraid, he said. I bring you good news that will bring great joy to all people. The angel is saying, I am here to tell you the good news. We often say the gospel, right? What does the gospel mean? It means literally the good news. In the birth of Jesus, we have good news that will bring great joy to all people. What is the gospel? What did Jesus Christ bring to us? When we human beings, everyone including myself, everyone including the smartest and the best people, we have one problem. That is, we have sin, right? And when we have sin, we cannot be with God because God is sinless. God is holy. But when we have sin, white and dark cannot be mingled together unless the color changes, right? So that needs to be taken care of. And Jesus came so that he may strip away of our sin and put it upon himself so that we can be with God. And Jesus made a way for us to go to heaven. And that is the greatest news available for everyone. People no longer have to be confined and restricted by sin in having a relationship with God. And now people can no longer live in darkness, but we can live in the light. This is a good news. But guess what the verse says? This good news will bring great joy. If you believe in this good news, if you have this good news, what should you have in your heart? What should you have? Joy. Not only just joy, but a great joy, right? And do you guys have that great joy in you? It was so joyful to watch you guys, sing and dance. And we're not just joyful at the fact that you guys were singing and you guys were dancing. Some of you guys were good and some of you guys were not that good. But it's okay because we have so much joy when you guys are singing and dancing for Christ. We believe in the message and that brings us great joy, right? So when we have that great joy, what do we do as God's people? We worship Him, right? We worship Him with great joy. If you know that gospel, if you have the gospel, with great joy, we worship together. But what about those people who do not yet know the good news? What about those people who do not yet have the gospel? What should we do as the people who have the gospel? We reach out to them. We do outreach to tell those people, hey, there's this great news that is going to solve the most important problem that you have in your lives, and it's given to us for absolutely free. And Jesus died for everyone, and that's the good news, and we reach out to people, right? So the number one thing is you got to ask yourself, do I have the gospel in me? And as a result, am I a joyful Christian? That's number one, right? And if your answer to those questions is yes, then the next question is, I'm going to make sure that I tell this good story to other people who do not know the story. Last Christmas, I don't know why I'm talking so fast. I'm so excited. Sorry for talking so fast. But last Christmas, my family and we decided to do an outreach. We made goodie bags for, we put like choco pie and we put masks and hand sanitizers and we put in 4 spiritual laws and we made about, 10 goodie bags and we went to downtown 샌디에고 and I got out of the car and with my kids, I gave those goodie bags to homeless people and I told them, hey, I bring the good news. God loves you and God has a plan for your life and read that booklet inside the goodie bag. Right? I did that and it was a form of outreach for me. So this Christmas season is all about knowing and having the gospel within you. That's number one. That's the most important thing. And if you do, then the second course of action is that we do outreach. We reach out to people and tell people about the good news. It's okay to have great food. It's okay to receive gifts. It's okay to have great time with your family. But always think about the reason why Jesus Christ came to us on the Christmas season. I want you guys to worship with joy. that the fact that you have the gospel in you, that's a great news. And number two, what should we do as Christians? Starts with O. Outreach. You guys are so smart. All right. That's it. Sorry for talking so fast. All the children, you guys can be dismissed. So you guys may rise.